Welcome back to Wild About Gear. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite pens. This is the MaxMadCo Titanium Bolt Action Retractable Pen. Now this pen is made by, hand machined and handmade by a gentleman called Jim Madrid, who is a machinist, and he started MaxMadco many years ago. The reason I'm doing this review is because actually I lost this pen a few days ago. And then when I tried to go and buy this pen again from MaxMadco, I realized to my horror that Jim Madrid had stopped making pens. Thankfully, I found this pen. So I'm holding in my hands probably one of the last few pieces that Jim Madrid made in pens. Obviously, it has a certain appeal, therefore, to me emotionally, that I have a handmade pen from Jim Madrid. But the feeling that I'd never be able to share the virtue of this pen with you was something that made me make this review. So first of all, quickly, this pen is made out of titanium. Now the titanium is an alloy. This is a 4V grade 5 titanium alloy, and probably the most commonly used titanium alloy in this world. I mean, the reason to have a titanium pen obviously is because it's highly corrosion resistant. It is very, very light, and I will share this with you. It's about this pen weighs about 30 grams or about an ounce. And extremely high strength. So, you know, if you were to take this pen and take titanium and match it to, say, stainless steel, this would have much higher strength. For example, titanium is used in aircraft turbines. It is used in extremely complex marine applications. But most importantly is the fact that it is highly corrosion resistant. It's very light, it's very strong, and obviously, therefore, it is very difficult to also tool and machine. So, in front of you here really is a work of art by Jim Madrid. The specifications of this pen, I'll quickly take you through. This is about 5 inches. Just about a little over 5 inches is the size of this pen, is the length. It weighs about, as I said, 30 grams or about an ounce. The entire body, this entire body that you see, let me put it down, is titanium. But there are two parts. This, for example, this entire clip is made of stainless steel. And if I can let this thing focus, you can see that the knock or the bolt that you see here actually has a brass insert. Interestingly, inside the pen, if you see here, inside the bolt, it's not metal. It's a synthetic material, I think, called Delrin. And what that does is that it gives a very, very smooth mechanism, because it's not metal and there is nothing there's no metal rubbing inside. What I also like with this is the etching of USA on the barrel of the pen. It's very, very well done. So what drew me to this pen, first of all? I mean, why am I so fond of this pen? First of all, it's beautifully machined. As you can see, it's gorgeous. It's minimalist. There is nothing really to distract you from the design of this pen other than the clip, which I'll come to in a moment. It's a fantastic clip. And the machining on this is absolutely gorgeous. Now, and the tolerances are amazing. Now, unless and until you really have a fine eye, you can't even see where the barrel is threaded. The threading is absolutely gorgeous as well. So this is a very well made and highly refined pen. I also like things with permanence, in the sense that I'm actually done with clicky pens like this, which are cheap and which are disposable. I like my pens to last me some time. In fact, I'd love to hold on to this forever and then maybe pass it on to somebody in my family. So I like a pen with permanence now. And this is actually going to last me, and maybe if I don't lose it again, maybe it'll last you an absolute lifetime if you get your hands on one of these. Now, the refill on this, it came with an Itoya refill. And what happened with that refill is that it actually leaked and it gunked up the entire mechanism here. So I threw away that refill, and what I have now in it is a Fisher Space refill. And this refill works perfectly fine with this pen. Just in case any of you are wondering whether you should put a Fisher Space refill into your pen, it's perfectly fine. Let me put it back. The nice part about this, obviously, is the fact that it's overbuilt. So the reason I say it's overbuilt is if you can see that section there, can you see just? And I'll try to use a pointer for you. I'll use my tactile turn shaker as a pointer. You can see this here. Just see how the cross section. You can see just how thick the titanium actually is. And what that does is that it gives you an extremely strong pen that will last you a lifetime. So it is really overbuilt. It works very, very well as a writing tool. Obviously, you have various refills, and that's what this writing is all about. But as an instrument, which you will use on an everyday basis, this is perfect. It is the right weight. It doesn't weigh very much. You can carry it in your shirt pocket. It basically you can carry this anywhere and everywhere. It's basically got a constant thickness all the way down, and it tapers at the end here. And what it actually means is that this entire barrel is as thick as you can get. And what Jim Madrid has done is that he's simply tapered the tip here, right? The most amazing thing about this, obviously, is the action, and it is very, very addictive. So if I were to give you an example, I would spend hours just knocking this back and forth. And you can actually hear it now. I spend hours doing this, and it's very, very addictive because it's such an amazingly beautiful action. Very ergonomic. Again, you can see that it's just the right size for you to use when you're using a writing instrument. It has an excellent pocket clip. To give you an understanding of how long I've had this pen, I've carried this every day with me for the last 3 years. Okay, and you can see that there is hardly any wear and tear. Now, titanium does tend to get scratches. In my case, I think I'm a little blessed because I don't know what Jim Madrid did with this. I actually don't have too many scratches on my pen. Almost scratch free and scratch resistant in my case. And you will see that this clip has held up very, very well considering that it is 3 years old. If there's an area of discomfort that I have, is that if you can see the top of the clip is held by these torque screws, and they're machined extremely well, but there is this little bit that you can see here. I don't know if you can see this little bit here that doesn't seem to match. I mean, it's like really nitpicking in my case, but that's probably one of the few criticisms I have of this pen. The other thing that I would have liked is that I would have liked some amount of traction here. It's very, very smooth. So what happens is that as you write, sometimes your fingers tend to slip, especially if you're in a humid environment. But again, that's just pure nitpicking. I actually like writing with this. It fits very well in the hand. What I really also like is the way MaxMadco etches its logo on top of the pen. I don't know if you can see this, but it's really, really well done. It's actually gorgeous, and it's one of those things that when you pull out this pen and you use it to sign anything or write with it, it's generally a conversation starter. People want to know what this pen is all about, you know. It is expensive. So this pen is, when I bought it, was about $100. I got it on a deal from MaxMadco. I think Jim Madrid would typically sell these for $125. I think I got a good deal, but it's $100 to $125 pen. Now, obviously, since this pen is no longer being manufactured, I really don't know what is the price point for a bolt action titanium handmade pen by a machinist anymore, like Jim Madrid. I'm sure it has an aftermarket value which is way in excess of the amount I paid for this pen. This will also last you a lifetime. It's what I also like about it is that how streamlined it is. You know, it's not gaudy, it's not flashy. It's got a brushed, finished feel that almost looks very similar to what you'd get on a expensive wristwatch. As I said, I mean, the feeling on this when you take it out and you sit down to write with it is that people will notice this pen and people will talk to you about it only because it actually genuinely does not scream for any attention. To give you an understanding of the size of this pen, here it is compared to the tactile turn shaker, and you will see that they're approximately the same size. This is the Lamy Ion, and if I can compare it to the Lamy, you can see that it's about, the Lamy is about half an inch bigger. And that is it. That's my review of this beautiful, gorgeous pen. In case you can get your hands on it, in the aftermarket, please pick it up. It is a fantastic piece of kit. It will last you a lifetime. And it is a conversation starter. And most importantly, it's got a beautiful, beautiful action. Probably the best bolt action I have seen on a pen till now. And I really enjoy working with this. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will be coming back with more for you. And have a fantastic day. Thank you.